Hello dear students, you are welcome for this session. Today we are going to deal with the physics subject, particularly in the topic of electronics, as you see. And we have the chapter objectives, as you see, as well as the competencies to be developed from the particular chapter of electronics. Chapter objectives which we have A, the concept of electronics, meaning that by the end of this chapter, you should be able to explain the meaning of electronics and so on. Our second part is band theory in solid materials. A third part C, is classification of solid materials in terms of their conductivity. And our fourth section to be covered in our topic of electronics is semiconductors. After semiconductors, we deal with the diodes. The next part will be transistors, and the last part will be electronic amplifiers. Now, how many objectives do we have in this chapter? Are they 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After covering the chapter, we expect Aram to be able to do the following. And in this is explained through the competencies. As you know, when we speak about competence, the competence is the ability that you get after acquiring a certain knowledge. Now, we expect after you have grasped well the concept of electronics and all other things concerned with electronics, you will have the following ability. We expect that the competence developed will enable you to demonstrate basic skills in electronic components and use them to construct and repair electronic devices. So we expect around after he or she has learned this topic of electronics, you will be able to know various electronic components, the components like diodes, as we've seen, transistor, and so on, and the way these components are used in electronic circuit to bring various effects. So, you are welcome. I beg your attention, and I expect that you are going to get fully about electronics. Are you ready, my students? Yeah, now we are together. So, after the chapter objectives, which you've seen here, how many are they? 7 or 6? 7, yes. And the competencies to be developed. We are going to start one objective after another. And you are going to start with the concept of electronics. Concept of electronics. As you see, our first objective is concept of electronics. Yes, electronics, the way it sounds, You find that we have electron, electron. So, directly you get an idea that when we speak about electronics, there is something about electron, the concept of electron. But it is electronics. So you find that when you speak about electronics, you are dealing with a discipline, dealing with the electron flow and their effects in various materials. So simply, what is electronics? We say that electronics refers to the emission, behavior, and effects of electrons or flow of electrons in semiconductors, vacuum or gas, and devices. Now, when we speak about electronics, we are dealing with the emission, behavior, and effects of electrons. So as I told you before that, when we speak about electronics, electron is there. Now we are going to see the behavior of electrons, the emission, behavior of electrons, and the way they flow in various materials like semiconductors, vacuum, or gas, or any other device, meaning that various devices in which electrons can flow and cause a certain effect. Now, when we study that, you say that we are studying electronics. Have you got the concept of electronics? Yeah. Somehow, electronics. Oh, electronics. Electronics. Oh, I'm studying about flow of electrons. Not only flowing, we're going to see the behavior, the way they behave. The way they behave. They behave where? In various materials like semiconductors, various materials like vacuum or gas, and other devices that involve the flow of electrons. Also here, we're told that we have aspects of electronics. Now, when we speak about aspects of electronics, we are dealing with how wide did we go? How wide did we go in electronics mainly? We have almost 3 aspects. We are told that the first aspect in electronics is the emission of electrons. So in electronics, we should look the emission of electrons. Now, there will be no electronics without emission of electrons. Another aspect is the storage of electric charges. And the last one is amplification of electric signals. In the next parts, we're going to see, we have devices mentioned here, devices like transistors. The role of these transistors is the amplification of electric signals. Now, that's why I here. So, the amplification of electric signals is one among the aspects during electronics. Or when you study electronics, you have to know that, amplification of electric charge is also one among the aspects to deal with. That is. Okay, now here we have application of electronics. As we see, electronics is applied in various fields. As here we have almost 60 fields showing where electronics is applied. The first one is consumer electronics. The second one? Our third one? Our fourth one? In meteorology and oceanography. Number 5? In medical field. And number 6? Okay, now class, we have consumer electronics. Consumer electronics. Who can tell us how electronics is applied in consumer electronics? Or what do we mean when we say consumer electronics? Simply. They want to give us the general meaning of consumer electronics. What is it?
Consumer electronics are those materials which are used in our daily life. For example, computers, calculators, and the projectors.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone to add something? Okay. As we know, when we speak about consumer electronics, is the electronics in which we are going to deal with the devices used in various areas in our daily life. Specifically, those areas are in offices and in our home places. As we have heard from our previous speaker that he has given us various examples. Now, what are the examples of those devices which are found in consumer electronics? Examples of those devices found in consumer electronics, yes? Computers. Okay, the next one. Yes, scanners. These are used in our daily life, yes? Calculators. Another device, yes? Printers. Another example. Yes? Projectors. Another example, yes? Fax machines. And so on. Okay, this was about consumer electronics. And in the second part, we have electronic automation in manufacturing industries. How do we apply the concept or the knowledge of electronics in the electronic automation in manufacturing industries? Is there anyone to tell us anything about this field? Simply, how is electronics applied in manufacturing industries to make automation? Yes, you're warmly welcome. tell us anything about automation in manufacturing industries?
Automation in manufacturing industries is mainly used in manufacturing industries, since those electrical automation machines are used to make difficult and dangerous work manageable without individuals supervision.
Yes, without individual supervision. Okay, thank you. And if you remember, in these electronic automation in manufacturing industries, it is where we get the devices which are categorized in the section of control electronics. Do you remember control electronics? Control electronics. Control electronics. So control electronics falls in this section of automation. So these are the devices which are controlled by someone somewhere without the physical contact. And when he or she controls them, they work automatically. As the previous speaker, he has said that when these devices are used, they work automatically so that the difficult and the dangerous works being manageable by someone who is not there physically. Are we together?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as we see, a third field is in telecommunication. In telecommunication, as we know, when we speak telecommunication, we are speaking about communication. We are speaking about wireless communication. The communication that does not need the presence of physical conductors to conduct the information from one place to another. As you know, when you speak about those devices are like the way the mobile phones works, you find that you can communicate with someone who is not in that area without seeing any wire maybe conducting the information. So what is done in there is telecommunication. Now, when we construct those devices, we should apply the concept of electronics. Are we together? Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's go ahead. We have a fourth field. This is in meteorology and oceanography. Do you know any device which is used in meteorology that works under the concept or under the knowledge of electronics? Do you know any device that works under the use of the knowledge of electronics, which is found in the field of meteorology? Do you know any? Yes, the one. Yes.
An example of that device is radar.
Yes, a device like radar. Fifth one is in medical field. In medical field, we have various devices which are made with the use of the knowledge of electronics. May you mention any of these devices? What are they? The devices which are made with the knowledge of electronics that are used in the medical field, what are they? Examples of these devices? Yes? Yes, digital thermometer. Thermometers. Digital thermometers. Another device, yes?
Convention X-ray machine.
Conversion. X-ray machine. Conversion. X-ray machines. Another device, yes? Ultrasound machine. Is it ultrasound? Machines. Ultrasound machines. Another device class, yes? CT scanners. Another device, yes? Yes, MRI scanners. Okay, and so on. The last field here we have is electronic automation in financial systems. Electronic automation in financial systems. So these are the systems that control the flow of money. So the knowledge of electronics has also been applied in this watch. We have been using the knowledge of electronics in making various devices that can control the financial systems. Now, can you tell me what are examples of those systems that leads to the transfer of money, maybe from one person to another, and so on? What are examples of these systems? Yes, that is the knowledge of electronics. Yes, we have for e-banking. E-banking. Another system that we use, yes. ATM machine. Okay. Another system that we use, yes. SIM banking. SIM banking. Another one. Another one. Yes, online shopping. Online shopping. And so on. And so on. Now, class, this is the end of our today's session. This is the end of our today's session. We are left with the one part. We are left with the one part of electronic circuit, so that we complete the first objective of the concept of electronics. So I expect that in the coming session we will finish this subtopic, the first subtopic, and jump to the next subtopic. Thank you for coming. I welcome you in the coming sessions. Have a nice moment. Bye.
See you.